Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're also going to look into an article from Cointelegraph called US enforcement agencies are tearing up on the heat on crypto-related crime. So let's just get into it. Recent high-profile incidents by the Department of Justice and collaborative agencies suggest that the federal government intends to aggressively go after alleged crypto criminals in the United States and abroad. On the evening of January the 7th, Anatomy, and I can't try to spell that name, founder of the cryptocurrency exchange Bitslazzo, was arrested in Miami. The following day, the United States Department of Justice (DOJ) unsealed a complaint in federal court charging him with conducting a money transmitting business that transported and transmitted illicit funds. According to the DOJ, Bitslazzo failed to meet US regulatory safeguards, including anti-money laundering requirements. Less than a month earlier, former FTX CEO Samuel Bankman-Fried was arrested in the Bahamas. In a statement, US Attorney General Merrick Garland said, "The Justice Department has filed charges alleging that Samuel Bankman-Fried, that guy, perpetrated a range of offenses in a global scheme to deceive and defraud customers and lenders of FTX and Alameda, as well as a conspiracy to defraud the United States government." And there you have the tweet. USA Damon Williams, earlier this evening. Yeah. More of the same, basically. Garland stated the US Department of Justice will aggressively investigate and prosecute alleged criminal wrongdoing in the financial system and violations of federal election laws. But is it really a new day? Will US law enforcement be able to go after alleged crypto criminals at home and abroad? According to Oberheiden PC attorney Alina Venezano, who represents executive clients under criminal investigations against the US Securities and Exchange Commission subpoenas and DOJ fraud allegations, the answer is yes. Attempts to rein in this unrestrained industry were inevitable. Venezia tells magazine she believes that federal government agencies are increasing their investigative efforts towards crypto crime and will utilize all the tools at their disposal. Subpoenas, summons, and intergovernmental sharing of information. For example, only last year, the SEC increased the size of its crypto assets and cyber unit in an effort to investigate more fraudulent crypto asset schemes and better protect investors in the crypto markets. Venezia also believes the Internal Revenue Service will further enforce US tax laws for cryptocurrencies. Former federal prosecutor Grant Fondo also sees an increase in activity. Now a trial attorney and founder of the digital currency and blockchain technology practice at Goodwin, Fondo believes that this is the result of the current bear market, widespread acceptance of cryptocurrency, and the government's obligatory focus on crime. I think anytime there is a course correction and/or an economic event like a crypto winter, that can also increase activity. When assets go down, people get hurt, and if people are mixing funds and things, it can create problems. Fondo tells magazine. Add to that the prolific global adoption of crypto, more people involved, and the DOJ's concern about any asset used for illicit activity, and Fondo sees beefed up enforcement as an inevitability. Words. In 2021, the DOJ created the National Cryptocurrency Enforcement Team, NCET, to handle investigation and prosecution of criminal misuse of cryptocurrency. NCET would combine the expertise of the agency's money laundering and asset recovery section and the computer crime and intellectual property section. In 2022, the DOJ also created the Digital Asset Coordinator (DAC) network under the leadership of NCET. Designated federal prosecutors from U.S. Attorney's Office around the country would be assigned to the DAC network. Each office's DAC will be the digital asset subject matter expert at the first investigated source of information. And there you can see the U.S. Department of Justice and their bill. You could find this on Justice Government under here. So what types of crimes are they going after? According to the DOJ report submitted to the Presidential Administration in September, the agency believes that cryptocurrency is the preferred payment method for ransomware and other digital extortion activities. Untrue. Most money that is used for laundering and those kinds of things are actually used already, but at least that's how it has been up till now. But we shall see. As an example, the DOJ referred to a ransomware attack in May 2021 on the Colonial Pipeline. According to the report, the attack forced the company to shut down a gasoline and jet fuel pipeline for days. This resulted in fuel shortages around the country, including several airports. The attackers demanded and received a ransom paid in Bitcoin. The report says cryptocurrency is used to raise funds for terrorist organizations and other nation-state threats actors. The DOJ states that it is its largest cryptocurrency seizure, disrupted the funding campaigns of ISIS and other terrorist groups. The agency took down a fraudulent ISIS website operation that purported to sell N95 masks and other protective equipment during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. Then you can see the Department of Justice released a photo of posting a request for donations and claiming to be a Syrian charity, but allegedly sought funds to support the Mujahideen in Syria with weapons, financial aid, and other projects assisting the jihad. Justice Gov. Well, the thing with Bitcoin, as we have talked about before, is that, and other cryptocurrencies, is that you can send a transaction to whomever you like, and it can't, as far as I'm aware of, be stopped on Bitcoin. And but it's an open ledger, so everybody could see the transactions. So it also absolutely has its downsides when it comes to trying to use it for this kind of activity. The Department of Justice released photo of a group posting a request for donations and claiming to be Syrian charity, but allegedly sought funds to support the Mujahideen in Syria with weapons, financial aid, and other projects assisting the jihad. Venezuela believes that these crimes are not new, they are just adapted to cryptocurrency. We are likely not looking at the creation of brand new crimes, but are instead more likely to see the crypto element incorporated into other offenses, such as crypto tax evasion, crypto theft, unregistered crypto offerings, crypto money laundering, etc. Due to the nature of the blockchain, it is likely to be confined to federal offenses as opposed to state crimes, Venezuela says. Fundo suggests that wire fraud is also a big factor, so you'll notice in a lot of the criminal indictments they allege wire fraud. Wire fraud is agnostic to the type of asset, whether it's a security, a commodity, whatever, doesn't matter. Historically, criminals would use the telephone, aka the wires, to commit fraudulent acts. Today, wire fraud refers to criminal committed using any type of telecommunications technology. According to Fundo, if you move digital assets around using the wires and you commit fraud, it's a crime. And most incidents in the crypto space fall into that category. For example, in a statement on December 14th, 2020, U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, Damon Williams, announced charges in two separate indictments against the founders and promoters of two cryptocurrency Ponzi schemes known as iContact and Forecount, both with conspiracy to commit wire fraud. I have not heard of any of those companies, but now you know you should be extra careful if you see them and if you have any kind of interaction with them. And here's the tweets. The U.S. Attorney announces fraud and money laundering charges against the funders and promoters of two cryptocurrency Ponzi schemes. According to the DOJ, victims purchased iContact and Forecount investment products using cryptocurrency, cash, checks, and wire transfers. They were given access to an online portal where they could monitor dubious returns, while the victims saw profits accumulate in the scheme's respective online portals. Most victims were unable to withdraw any of these so-called profits and ultimately lost their entire investments. All the while, Interagency and Forecount promoters skimmed hundreds and thousands of the victims' funds, withdrew it as cash, and spent the lot on promos for the Ponzi scheme, luxury goods, and real estate. So, what other agencies are involved? Venezuela believes that collaboration between government agencies and crimes is nothing new and should be expected in the cryptosphere. Venezuela says, consider a crypto fraud scheme involving a new token. The SEC will be involved. The token is unregistered and satisfies the definition of an investment contract. Under the Howard test, an analysis based on a Supreme Court decision. And as we know, the Howard test is made from the 1930s, somewhere there, and it's not, what should I say, it might not be suitable for this sector and this kind of propositions and these kind of assets. Yeah, I would suggest that you look into the suit that the SEC has alleged against Ripple, the company, and their token XRP, and take it from there. It's gonna be a bumpy ride and a long one. So let's continue here. She continues, the IRS will also be involved where there is tax evasion or the failure to report crypto sales and dispositions. Further, the DOJ may initiate an investigation where money laundering or other illicit activity is present. There is even a call for greater collaboration for the private sector to combat crypto fraud. Additional agencies, including the Financial Crime Enforcement Network (FinCEN), the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, the Secret Service, and the Department of Homeland Security have all participated in cryptocurrency investigations. And there's a nice picture of a gentleman called Walt Ademir, Deputy Treasury Secretary. A new acquaintance for me, I have not seen it before. In the BitLasso case, the DOJ teamed up with the Department of Treasury Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. In a joint press conference with officials from the DOJ, Deputy Secretary of the Treasury Walt Ademayo said that FinCEN is officially identifying BitLasso as a primary money laundering concern in connecting with Russian illicit finance. Ademayo thanked the DOJ for being such great partners on this action, but also on going after this ecosystem more broadly. So it says, do politics affect who the government investigates? According to Fondo, the answer is yes and no. The DOJ is part of the executive branch of government, and the president nominates its leader, the Attorney General. The US Senate is tasked with confirming the president's nominee. Generally, it's an agency that is agnostic in the sense as to who the president is. Fondo says when he was a federal prosecutor, Fondo believed that he was completely immune to whoever was in the White House. On the other hand, whenever national actors are involved, Russia or China, for example, Fondo says that a potential case escalates in significance. Since the DOJ gets a lot of lead on complaints, so they have to prioritize resources and decide which ones to pursue. A case that involves a national actor stealing trade secrets, stealing assets, funneling assets to Russia to fight, say, the war in Ukraine, that will rise well above something else that is an otherwise more typical crime. So in that way, the DOJ is more political. Fondo also believes that when there is a national scandal like Enron, Bernie Madoff, or the fall of FTX, the government is more apt to jump in and get more involved. When something hits the press, like a major incident, there is more pressure to get charges more quickly, Fondo says. Venciano points out that crypto activity isn't limited by geographic borders and can affect overseas markets in a matter of seconds. Crypto activity can certainly affect international politics, demanding cooperation between the United States and enforcement agencies in other nations. Take the BitLasso case as an example. The DOJ received significant operational and informational assistance from other agencies, both domestic and international, including Customs and Border Protection, and also Europol and Dutch and Belgian authorities, Venezuela says. So here's how crypto criminals abuse cryptocurrency exchanges. So first, the criminals have money they obtain illegally. Okay. Second, funds are deposited into mixers to disguise criminals' origins. 3. Crypto exchanges convert funds into fiat currency. Check. And 4. Laundered money now available for criminals to use. And the source is Europol. In the US, there are no federal laws on the books specifically regulating the use of cryptocurrency. Different regulatory agencies have taken responsibility and have written rules for the oversight of different digital assets. Sooner or later, Congress is expected to move legislation to the President's desk, formally defining cryptocurrencies and how they are to be regulated. In the meantime, Fondo believes that lack of clarity and even disagreements among regulators leads to ambiguity that crypto-centric companies struggle with. In essence, it's hard to follow the rules if you don't know what they are, especially on civil as opposed to the criminal side of things. Nonetheless, he believes that the industry has matured in recent years and there are a lot of great actors out there trying to do the best they can with regulatory uncertainty. Yeah, the reason why it's regulatory uncertainty is because there is no proper regulation and proper rules in the United States, at least. But in the rest of the world, there's a completely different case for the matter. Okay, let's get on. But also trying to meet demands of the markets. But when there is a situation, crime is a crime. If the government sees something that looks like a fraud, it doesn't really matter what the asset is, and they think it's significant enough and worthy of chasing, they'll do it. So yeah, that was the article. The article is written by a guy called Mitch Even with a yellow face and blue hair. red lips and so on, fancy stuff. So yeah, he's a writer who covers cryptocurrency, politics, intersections between the two, and a handful of other unrelated topics. He believes that crypto is the future of finance and feels privileged that he has the opportunities to report on it. And I also feel privileged to be able to talk to you guys about this stuff. And I hope that you liked the video. If you did, please hit a like on it and subscribe to the channel. I am the Northern investor. No, I'm not. I'm just a Northman. And of course, I'll see you in the next one. Hope you had a blast. Goodbye.